So today we've talked about adding integers on this page, and we talked about subtracting integers on this page. And I just kind of want to do a quick recap of everything we've done. So we talked about vocab, and that's listed up here at the top. Those are vocabulary words that you need to know for a test or quiz. And then down here, I talked about shortcut for adding integers. When signs are the same, they come together, they're friends, and so those armies, they add and we keep the sign. When signs are different, they subtract and we keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. So we talked about that on this example here, that things cancel out and then we keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. When we got to subtracting, we made our subtraction problems addition problems and then had to follow our adding rules. So you can see why the adding rules are so important to us over here, because we copy, change, and we always change the subtraction to an addition symbol. And then we had to use our adding rules. So I talked about copy, change. Other teachers may use keep, add, opposite, or keep, change. Any of them work, but still make us go back to our addition rules to help us subtract integers. And so what I've given you at the very last, on the last page here, is adding and subtracting integer rules. And for addition, it says if signs are the same, you add the two numbers and keep the sign. That should seem familiar. Add, keep the sign. And then if signs are different, subtract the two numbers and take the sign of the larger number. This really should say the number with the greatest absolute value, because if we take the sign of the larger number, in this situation, 2 is larger than -6, but the answer should be negative because there are more negatives than positives. So just note that. And then there's a little song for those of you who are musically inclined or music might help you remember things. There's a little row, row, row your boat song. Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. So if you want to memorize that song and use it to help you memorize your addition rules and for integers, great. If you don't, that's okay too. It's just there as kind of a little catchy tune to help those of you who like learning math through music. And then subtraction says add the opposite and follow the addition rules. So back here we wrote add the opposite, or change subtraction to addition and change this to be the opposite, and follow the addition rules. So we come back up here. So this is just kind of, it gives you a couple more examples of different addition and subtraction problems, and it gives you a little silly song to help you remember your integer rules. So you can use this as a reference sheet as you need to. If you've made it to the end here and you're still listening to me, I want you at the top of your page to put I love math. Just at the top right here, write it so that I know you actually listened to me. And then when I check your notes, I'll know that you actually watched this last video. I love math, and then you can be done for the day and know that you've finished your notes.